In the annals of history, few figures capture the public imagination like infamous outlaws. These individuals, existing on the fringes of society, often become legendary, their stories steeped in myth, controversy, and intrigue. Today we dive into the fascinating world of famous outlaws, exploring the legends and realities behind these crime figures. Our journey begins with Jesse James, a name that reverberates through American folklore. Born in 1847, James was a Confederate soldier turned bank robber. The turmoil of the American Civil War fostered an environment ripe for outlaws like him. Alongside his brother Frank, Jesse led the James Younger Gang in a string of bank and train robberies during the 1860s and 1870s. Despised by lawmen but celebrated by many as a Robin Hood-like figure, Jesse James became a symbol of resistance against Northern aggression. Yet beneath the veneer of heroism was a man driven by personal vendettas, his actions mired in violence and bloodshed. In 1882, his life ended abruptly at the hands of a fellow gang member, Bob Ford, forever cementing his status as an American folk hero. The line between legend and reality blurred, leaving us to ponder whether his reputation as a noble outlaw was deserved or an embellishment of historical narratives. Traveling across the Atlantic, we encounter another infamous figure, Dick Turpin. An 18th century English highwayman, Turpin's story is equally shrouded in myth. Known for his audacious exploits, he was popularized long after his death by the romanticized portrayal as a dashing rogue. His most famous act, the legendary overnight ride from London to York on his trusty steed, Black Bess, is pure fiction. In reality, Dick Turpin was a cutthroat and a thief, whose crime spree eventually led him to the gallows in 1739. It was the work of later writers that transformed him into a charming anti-hero, illustrating how historical recollection can be selectively reshaped. In the early 20th century, the United States saw a resurgence of outlaws, driven by economic despair during the Great Depression. Among them was Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, a couple whose crime-filled saga has been immortalized in film and literature. Their two-year crime spree included bank heists and murders, capturing the attention of a nation weary with hardship. The duo struck a chord with the public, seen by some as rebels against a failed system. However, their romanticized depiction is far from reality. Bonnie and Clyde's lives were characterized by violence and desperation. Both met a tragic end in a hail of bullets in 1934, forever joining the ranks of mythic outlaws. Closer to our times lies the story of Pablo Escobar. The notorious Colombian drug lord, Escobar rose to power in the late 20th century, amassing immense wealth as head of the Medellin cartel. At his height, he controlled the majority of cocaine trafficking into the United States. Escobar is a figure of contradictions. To some, he was a villain responsible for incalculable violence and corruption. To others, he was a benefactor, helping the poor neighborhoods of Medellin with his wealth. His death in '93 marked the end of an era, but the legend of Pablo Escobar continues, raising complex questions about power and morality. What is it about outlaws that captures our fascination? Perhaps it is their defiance of societal rules, their willingness to live outside the norm, that appeals to a primal part of the human spirit. These figures often emerge during times of social unrest, becoming symbols of resistance and rebellion against perceived injustices. Yet, as we have seen, the truth behind their stories is often far less glamorous. In conclusion, the legends of famous outlaws are a testament to the allure of rebellion and the power of storytelling. While history tells us of their crimes, it is often the myths that endure, reshaped and retold across generations. As we continue to explore the narratives of these individuals, we are reminded to look beyond the romanticized accounts and acknowledge the complex realities that shape their lives. Such tales invite us to reflect on our own society's heroes and villains, challenging us to discern between the two. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the world of outlaws, a journey through time, myth, and history.